Good morning, guys. So today, more 240 stuff. I've been here just kind of cranking away. As you can see there, that is the transmission. Womp womp. Unfortunately, it is back out of the car because there's some weird clutch spacing issues going on, and I'm just trying to eliminate all variables before the car, you know, goes into gear. I haven't had it in gear yet, so nothing's hurt in the trans or in the clutch. So, yeah, unfortunately it's back out. Why I measure some stuff and try to figure out what the potential issue is, figure out my exact spacing, and then put it back in. Cover all bases. Then I've also been doing some brake line management. The handbrake lines nicely tucked through there. And then that's the main brake line right next to it. All nicely zip tied and, you know, moved out of the way, and I use these nice little P-clamps, some self-tappers just to clean it up. Looks nice. I'm gonna test fit the dash here in a little bit, make sure that all fits up nice and flocked. I didn't do that, the previous owner did. I saw a couple comments about the kill switch and if I wall tap it, but if I wall tap it hard enough to turn off this kill switch, the kill switch being turned off is the least of my worries at that point. I think if I wall tap it that hard, I'll be dealing with some other repercussions for sure, because it's pretty far into the fender. So maybe it'd be an issue. If it ever is an issue, it's not hard to move, but I'd basically have to total the car to wall tap it hard enough to. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm saying if the power turning off is the least of my worries in that situation. And then otherwise, I've just been kind of tweaking away on little things. There's so many like little things that I just don't want to, you know, show every little thing that I'm doing. Every time I'm zip tying something, putting like pass-through loom over everything so that, you know, I don't have to worry about wires rubbing through. Ordered some headlights for it because they're just some empty buckets. Trying to figure out why this fitting is leaking, because this is an AN fitting and it is as tight as it'll get and it is leaking. So that's kind of a buzzkill. I expected this one to leak because this one's the higher quality one. I don't know, stupid oil cooler. I'll have to put this on some rubber most likely. Probably just put some rubber grommets under there. I still have to put some rubber grommets under the radiator and finish mounting the radiator fully, but the motor's still tiltable until the trans is back in, so can't do that yet. I have a full exhaust waiting to go on the car, and I can't wait to hear how that sounds. I also added this different style vent to hopefully help that. I just need to do a different style lid. Maybe just take this lid off and put some like gray RTV around there and screw it back on, something like that. It shouldn't leak, I don't know why it always does. So I'm gonna try to figure that out before Streetcar Takeover this weekend, because we are leaving Friday for Streetcar Takeover up in Atlanta. Probably be the last time I can ever race at Atlanta Dragway, so that's kind of sad. I've been to that track a couple times. I've raced there once in the V1, and I'm excited to go back. It'll be a little sad. Also, I got this really awesome package from Zip Tools. The guys saw that I put a little air compressor and was talking about air tools, so they sent me more air tools than I have ever even imagined. And I kind of peeked into the box a little bit because I was too curious, but they sent some really awesome stuff, and I'm super excited to try them. And I also probably will need a bigger air compressor now because I'm probably gonna wanna use these a lot more. So there's that. You guys wanted me to get a bigger air compressor. It looks like I might be doing it now, but I'll happily go out and get a bigger air compressor. So they sent me just an array of stuff. I even already put a air tool hanger mechanism right there so I can hang the air tools, because that's what's nice about air tools, you can hang them very nicely. But look at this array of stuff. Let's just start opening stuff. I already opened this one just to check it out, because this is one of the tools that I actually, the second I saw somebody use one of these, I was like, I need that. These little air saws are so convenient. They they just move so fast, and they're so tiny you can get them like into the smallest places. They're great for like, you know, cutting hoods and stuff and like little areas and fenders. Love these air saws. So I'll just start hanging stuff. Oh, look at that, that's gonna be so nice. Air saw. Little baby ratchet. They don't all have air chucks on them yet. Let's just open up everything here, and then we get to using. See, some stuff I already opened and put the hose barb deal on there. So, dang, so nice. This stuff is so compact too. So it'll be nice too, because my power tools I can now bring with me, you know, on trips and stuff without worrying about not having any tools here if I, you know, don't want to empty the toolboxes. Look at this, another air saw. This one's a little beefier. Air pipe saw. Vibration reduced. This stuff is, you can just tell how high quality this stuff is too. Never really used their tools before, but I am very eager to try these out. This guy is got a 90-degree angle grinder. That's pretty awesome. That's a nice piece. Let's see this guy. Dang. All right, it's settled. I'm getting a better air compressor now. I need to. I need one. I actually probably need another one of those too. Let's see. Another grinder, straight one. Got an impact. Dang. Air impacts are very nice to have. What else is in here? We got a flashlight. Nice little Zip Tools flashlight. I've actually used these same style before. These are really handy flashlights. Let's see what else we got here. This one is called the Air Nibbler. So, another little impact. All right, we're gonna have to fire all these off. Air hammer. Air hammers are freaking awesome. And this thing is beefy. Shock reduction and all. All right, I'm eager to try all this stuff now. One more, the nice case. This one is the blind rivets. Look at that freaking rivet gun. I have never personally used one of these. I always do rivets by hand, and I don't do that many of them because I always do them by hand, but now with an air riveter, probably be a little more likely to do more rivets. Dang. So huge thanks to the guys at Zip Tools. I can't wait to hang all these up, use them on cars, and be able to just, you know, have more tools around the shop. More power tools is always good. I find myself using hand tools all the time, and using power tools would be nice. So I do know that I need to upgrade my air system, that's for sure, because right now I just have that one little nozzle and that tiny little compressor. He said most of these tools run like 100 psi, which I don't think that little air compressor can keep up with, but we'll know very soon trying to do some of this stuff. So I think we're gonna have to talk about upgrading the air supply. So I'll show you guys a little secret on this shop, which is, I've never showed you guys before. It's kind of cool. This shop, if you look under here, has air running through it. Let's see, an end. There's a couple ends all around. Yeah, there's one. There's like a bunch of ends all around like that. It runs through the whole shop. So at one point, the previous owner had air, and outside in the back, there is a power cord, like a plug-in for like a big air compressor, and a little, little plug-in like that, little female plug-in. So I can put a big air compressor back there. The only issue is when we wired in for the welder, we used the only open spot on the fuse panel here, the breaker. There was not any more openings, so we're full. So we need to either get a bigger box and then add it back in, because there's just not enough. So we're gonna have to add another power, because we siphoned it off here for the air compressor, for the welder. So it goes up back over to there for the welding stuff. So we would just have to redo that, which would not be that bad. It's kind of a job, but it's not too bad. And then we can put the air compressor out in the back. I'll show you guys the back area right now. So back here behind the shop, where there's a V1 hood, there's a nice outlet back here for a generator. Air compressor. And then there's even a plug-in. This is probably old. I would probably have to swap all that. But I could put a air compressor right here. One would assume there was one here, but unfortunately that is dead now, and it's to the one inside. There's nothing really back here. It's kind of a storage zone. Apparently the previous owner used to store a lot of things back here, like just wood and trash and stuff pretty much, and they had a very large rattlesnake infestation, like very, very large. So I've been a little skittish to put anything back here. Bowser usually walks around back here every now and then, but a little wary. That piece of plywood, it's been here for a while. I'm nervous to touch if there was that many rattlesnakes back here. Yeah, so that's it's not ideal, but that's the situation. Also, for any of you guys that know air really well, what is preferred, brass or steel? What's the difference and why? Why would one go with brass or steel? I don't fully know. I have some that are brass, some that are steel. I just have an assortment of them from different things and buying different compressors and stuff. But somebody leave in the comments what is preferred. All right, I'm gonna get this stuff set up. Well, lined them all up. Zip Tools, huge thank you. That looks so awesome up there. And I figured out what the air nibbler does, did some research, and this thing's freaking awesome. How have I never heard of one of these before? I'm gonna try it out in a little bit here, because this is definitely something I needed in my life, and I didn't even know it. Apparently it just cuts things like really well. So hopefully the little air compressor can keep up, but look at how nice that looks. All right, so I found out what this thing does, the nibbler, and it's pretty freaking awesome. Wait until you guys see how it works. It's a piece of steel. Watch this. Kind of just go like this. Look at that. Freaking bombed right through it. I mean, I'll give you, the air compressor wasn't keeping up that great, but it cut right through it. A little piece of steel. I mean, it's not that thin, but man, this thing bombed right through it. I don't know how long the blades last, but pretty freaking awesome. It was definitely starting to struggle there at the end, but maybe I was pushing it too fast. But for making like a little bracket or something, that could definitely, that is so much nicer than like a saw. I wonder how it works on aluminum. But it worked great on steel. So, very cool power tool there. All right, in my quest to make this icebox not leak without spending a bunch of money on a fancy lid, even a couple other ones I was looking at are like 50 bucks. Really not trying to spend 50 bucks on a lid. I made a new vent, and then I'm going to reseal up the lid here. It had some kind of seal on it, but you can actually see there's water in between this and the lid. It doesn't stick to it, it's just like a silicone that didn't even stick to the plastic. Like I didn't have to like pry it off or anything, it just came right off. So I don't know if they assume this silicone will make like a seal, but it really doesn't. It just kind of makes it like a gasket, but there's only like 6 screws in there that don't hold it tight enough to make the gasket really work. They're just self-tapped into there, and it's nothing too crazy, that's for sure. So I'm going to lay down a fresh bead of gray RTV gasket maker and see if that fixes it. It should, if I just kind of lay it down nice and aggressively. Maybe even clean this out. It's looking pretty rough. I'm sure my intercooler doesn't like that. Also, that's kind of weird. Yes. Wonder how that happened. I've never touched this hose clamp before in my life, and it came undone. All right, I globbed some gray RTV around there, like a lot of it. So hopefully that'll do it, and hopefully I can line back up the screws. And also, I hope that these self-tappers go back in, because they're definitely not, you know, it's not like it's nut-serted. They're not made to come in and out like that. All right, let's see if we can get something to happen here. All right, that is how I wanted it. I wanted it to kind of spill out the sides, and then I can wipe it off before it dries. But that should hold it, and it will probably make it stronger on there. You can even see it like came through the screw holes, because when it tightened, it started to come up through there. But I'm gonna wipe that off real quick with a rag, and then that should hold once it dries. One of the only times it's nice to have a shop that tilts completely down. I could just drain my water right out. I was gonna drain it into the pan, but then I was like, wait, you just drain it right out the door. Also, I sent the log of the 790 pass over to Alpha at Induction Performance, who does all the tuning for the old Camaro over here, and he was actually extremely impressed by how high my IATs got with no intercooler on, because basically with no intercooler on, we just have a heatsink in there. This is kind of the impressiveness of it. I maxed out a sensor, 250 degree sensor, maxed it out. You can see that purple line is the IATs, and they go above where the sensor actually maxes out, and then the red line is the you know, RPM. So that's when I left, and that's how it swoops up. This is second gear drops down a little bit in the RPM. You can see, like, so right here is where I left. That was where I was on the trans brake. Left, it rose quickly, kind of slowly rises after that. You know, it rises real quick RPM, but then, you know, kind of slows its rise. And then we shift to second, it just hangs the RPM pretty much. We just need some more power. But this was 171 mile an hour pass, and we were seeing 250 degree IATs at 790. So if the intercooler was on, it's safe to say the speed and mile an hour and trap speed and all that, ET would have been a hell of a lot better, because that is so bad. And another point that we were making when we were talking about this is these sensors are really slow reacting. So this is all the correct readings, but you probably have to shift it back a little bit. So it probably was rising, you know, it probably reached top temperature back over here somewhere instead of all the way at the end. That's probably more accurate. So it was hot. I mean, 250 degrees, that's like freaking boiling water at that point. Oh, this is so bad for knock and everything, and spark knock, I can't believe that it can hold on that well at that high of temperatures. After seeing how serious it really is, I think it'll make me a lot more conscious of it, knowing that it's really that bad to have it off. I've never seen the IATs that high, but that's wild. So intercooler definitely needs to be on. I'll probably put a little sticker or something like right over here, because that'd be nice, like right over here, turn on intercooler. The switch is up there, nitrous switch is down there, so when I look at the nitrous switch and the purge, I'll remember to turn on the intercooler, hopefully. So I just got these guys in the mail. They are some super cheap, just like eBay, Amazon headlights. But they actually come with a pretty nice weather sealed, like Deutsch style connector. So that doesn't suck. That's kind of nice. So these are going to be the headlights on the 240. As you guys have probably seen, some people do like something like that and then make the headlight kind of permanently like that. Straighten it out. You know, you just put like a bolt in it somewhere, and then you can kind of make them stand up a little bit. Maybe just, I don't know. I haven't figured out how I'm gonna make them stay up, but I'm sure there's some people that have some write-ups on it and stuff. So I'm gonna mount these up, wire them. All right, both lights are in. You can see right here, nice little LED strip, and they are adjustable on the side here. So depending on how high or low I want these, I haven't decided yet, because without the bumper on, it's pretty tough to know exactly where you want them to be. Probably something like that, I would imagine. But until the bumper's on, I can't set these headlights. They don't have any way to set them, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to have like a bolt go through here that like goes up against that, or maybe just weld it. I don't know, figure out what I want to do. I definitely don't want them all the way up. A little half-eyed is the look I want to go for. Headlights are done. They just need to be propped once I figure out how I want to prop them, once the rest of the body panels are on. But the wiring is all done. The connectors are right here, so I can just deconnect it. This one's right on this side, and then the wires run right in front of the radiator. You just have to zip tie them off a little bit better, but that one's good. Runs up here with the alternator wires into the firewall. I loomed it like this with this really thick heat shielding loom. It makes it really nice for any pass-through like that. Then they go into these two relays right here. I have one open relay that's already wired up. I just need to you know, switch and whatever it's going to power. So I have one backup relay. Nice to have that in case I expand, in case things get changed up at all. Then it runs up here, and the headlights are turned on right here with that headlight switch. So see, woohoo, we have headlights, and they're already wired. So if I do ever want to change these headlights, maybe get some like OEM ones, I can just take these out and cut the wiring and make OEM wiring, like make this wiring work for the OEM. But I did it so it had enough wire to where whatever way I put it, maybe somebody sells a kit for this that makes it like stay up, but I'm not sure yet. But just making this wiring and like doing that nice, that's like a 2-hour job easy just to do that. I have to say, this car is so awesome because I've been learning so much about wiring, fab work, motor installs, trans, clutch, rear ends, like brakes, literally you name it, I have learned about it on this car. Between this and the Camaro, I've learned so much about building and working on project cars and maintenance and all that kind of fun stuff that it is so awesome. All right, I think that's enough for this video. I did so much on this car. Got a lot accomplished on that car. Got it pretty much ready to go to Streetcar Takeover this weekend. Really pumped for that. This car's in a really good spot to just put the transmission back in, drive shaft in, bleed the brakes, you know, the whole thing, drive shaft. Hopefully it fits. I just kind of winged it on the measurements, but I kind of got a good measurement, I think. So once that goes in, the exhaust can go on, and he will be freaking driving this thing. So close. It is so close. But that'll do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it saucy. I will see you next time.